Welcome to the Deasy Show. My name is Andrew, and this is Beck.
Hi.
Oh my God, hi. Let's get into it.
Yes.
So, to kick off,
Yes.
and to set the theme, I sent you a Facebook reel because I'm a Luddite boomer on Facebook, which is for old people screaming into the void.
Yeah, you use Facebook.
Yeah, I do. And so, as you
Hold
know,
on, it's loading.
Sure. As you know, two of my biggest problems are too much time and too much spare money. So what I did is I commissioned a special video about your friends, Jewel and Nathan.
Yeah.
And it's been uploaded on
Yeah,
Facebook
I've
now.
seen this guy. Okay.
How you doing, mate? You alright? I compete in High Rocks. Good for you, mate. Can you see the t-shirt? High Rocks Games 2025. Can we please not do that thing where you move all the equipment around? Last time we had a lot of complaints and you didn't even put any of it back. The game's a game. The High Rocks Games. What are you doing? You wouldn't understand, but you'll soon see, my friend. Hold up, mate. I'm using that one. No, you're using that one over there. Well, I need to use it as a marker to see how far I need to do my burpee broad jumps. What did you want to use it for? Chest press. 2025. And you're still using chest press by means of functionality. I don't really want to be functional. I just want to look good. Get a load of this guy. Whoa, watch where you're going.
Why is he running like that? Why is he running like a T-Rex?
Don't you rest between sets? Gotta keep that heart rate up. Unless you want to do a duo event, I mean, I can enter you, we can do it together. It's one in London in just a few weeks. We can make a day of it. I'm good, man. I said I'm good. Come back in.
Okay, right, it
There's
stopped.
a big group of people.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
running
this is
after that
electric.
guy.
Man, I'm good. You are good. Look at you, you're a natural. This isn't what this gym's for. Whatever, mate. Does look pretty hard, to be fair. Don't encourage him. You want to join High Rocks?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. But I think they have a separate area.
Yeah, well...
They're not allowed in, like, the bodybuilding area. Like, that would be actually annoying.
in the civilized area. Yeah, you were telling me about this the other day.
Yeah.
We were talking to Mackenzie that Obsidian is opening Obsidian 2.
The second gym,
So the
yeah.
cool thing about Obsidian, and like most gyms nowadays, is they have like the gym for real people and then the special needs area for your high rocks and CrossFit
We
types and
shouldn't
stuff.
say that.
Well, I mean, come on. Don't
Lots of
don't
people
encourage
doing
them.
That, yeah.
And then what Obsidian's doing when they're opening Obsidian 2 is they're keeping Obsidian 1, and then Obsidian 1 is taking that separating
Group
of the special
fitness.
needs kids to
So
an even
they're-
higher level, and they're going to be in a whole different building hundreds of meters away,
There's
leaving a
gonna
civilized
be-
space for people who do real
Yeah,
training for
there's
real
going to be
reasons.
bodybuilding gym is the new one.
Mm.
But they're also going to put like Pilates and group fitness in the old one.
Yeah, they can tolerate the
Yeah.
high rocks and CrossFit people. It's good. So yeah, the
Right.
theme of the day is
What is
fads.
the thing? Fats? Fads. Or fats.
Fads. We can talk about fats, but we'll do that at a different time. So
Okay.
back when I was putting together the Granite Glutes of Glory booty building guide, which is a real peek behind the curtain of exactly what we did to create so many champions over so many years.
Oh, yeah, we used to keep it a secret. That's right.
Yeah, we used to keep it a secret, and now the secret's out of exactly how it's done. Whilst I was doing it, I was thinking, oh no, I could feel the pressure of, imaginary critique or complaints, because people are going to go, oh no, where's all the curtsy lunges? And then I had a second thought and went, no, it won't be that, because my mind is 5 years in the past. If I was making that course 5 years ago, then I would get that criticism. Wait, I've seen all of these influencers doing curtsy lunges. That's what made all the champions on Instagram, right? So that's the kind of criticism that I'm used to getting, because people think they know what real is by looking at the entirely artificial Instagram. Then I show them what real is, and they're like, you're doing it wrong. But yeah, so curtsy lunges is one of those things where it came in as a trend and disappeared again. So I'm not even sure what the current bullshit trend is for growing glutes, but it's something. So before the curtsy lunges, people were doing the step machine and kicking their legs in the air. And stuff. Remember that? Oh, it really burns, and therefore it makes a difference.
I think also they were doing it with like a booty band on and then stepping and...
I don't know about that. I don't know if I saw
I'm
that
sure
one.
I saw...
I'm sure, yeah. If you look on the internet, you'll find any means of stupid
Yeah.
thing. But
It's just very dumb because it's meant to be cardio. Just keep it as cardio.
yeah, if there's something that works for a thing, maybe just use it for that thing. Don't try and turn it into something else.
Yeah, it's not strength training.
There's this relentless pressure to regenerate new concepts or to generate new
To keep
concepts.
people interested in fitness because they get bored and they're like, I'm just going to go back to eating Doritos and watching Netflix.
You have to reinvent the wheel. Well, because
Yeah,
the people
you
who are
do.
really, really good are autistic.
You
And-
mean bodybuilders?
Well, I mean
So just keep showing
I
up.
mean anything. Like at any sport. Like, have you spoken to a gymnast? Have you spoken to an elite football player? Look at the post-game interviews of most super elite athletes. And it's like talking to
What
chipboard.
do they say?
Full credit to the boys. We had a plan, and yeah, we did it. Full credit to the boys there, and we thought we'd run the ball up, try and break the line, and yeah, full credit to the boys. They did it. Like, this is somebody who just does one thing all the
Talking about
time.
rugby league players just then. That was definitely it.
You were just watching your
Yeah.
dad's TV, weren't you?
Yeah.
Right. So
That's what
that's what they look like, and then you look
That is
at
what they said.
most MotoGP stars.
I
It's just
knew you were going to say MotoGP.
they're incredibly boring. Most bodybuilders, incredibly boring.
Yeah, you have to be insane to be a MotoGP rider. To do that it's just,
Well, there's
you could possibly die.
there's a piece of your brain missing.
Yeah.
The bit that processes fear.
Every time you're going to do one of those races, it might be your last time.
Well, recently 2 young men died in a British super sport.
Superbike. Oh, okay. Super
You're right. British super bike
Mm-hmm.
support race. Get the words out. Yeah, a 21-year-old and 29-year-old died recently.
and they're young. That's young.
yeah,
That's
it's
not
terrible.
great.
But my point is, being excellent at anything, getting the highest results, usually involves being super excellent at the basics and doing it over and over and over and over again. And it's inherently boring. And so you need an inherently boring personality type. There are exceptions, of course. If we use MotoGP, because you won't shut up about MotoGP,
Yeah.
Valentino Rossi, very entertaining, very charismatic.
No, everyone loves
And that
him.
makes him a super duper megastar because he's got the talent and a personality. That's very rare. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, Joe Weider loved him because trying to interview a bodybuilder, what do? I curl the weight up and then I curl it down 1,000,000 times for 10 years. I have nothing else to say. Like, that's what excellence is doing a boring, dry thing over and over and over again. Then you've got Schwarzenegger who comes along and says, I imagine myself to be a god. All this crazy shit.
Yeah, I think it was his accent as well that was so unusual.
Yeah, the accent, but also I was about
And
to say
the shit
delusions
that
of
he would
grandeur,
say,
but
yeah.
the arrogance and the charisma
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Huge personality, very rare. Most people who are high achievers are kind of boring and stuff. And so,
Like you. I'm kidding, everyone. It's not boring.
what are you saying? I'm not a high achiever?
No, I said you are a high achiever, but you're not boring. But you definitely got your autismos. That's like when Mackenzie said to you the other day, I knew there was something wrong with you. I can't even remember what we were talking about. Something to do with fitness. And she was like, I knew there was something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's not all there, but tying that into the average person. So so I'm talking about the extreme outliers. The average person who does have a personality and is an interesting,
gets bored.
well-rounded, will get bored. And so then there's a challenge on the fitness industry, anyone in it, when they used to write bodybuilding magazines, like, do bench presses for pecs. Okay, cool. What are we going to write about next month? Fuck. We're out of material. You got to come up with something new to entertain and intrigue and interest people. And that's just the story of the fitness industry, is just what bullshit are they going to come out with next to try and make things more palatable and interesting.
Yeah, and there's loads. So I was thinking about, because I have a lot of American clients and quite a few, I've only heard of it because of them, will come to me and be like, I did Orange Theory and it was great and I lost all the weight. And then I just put it all back on. And I guess they stopped doing Orange Theory because they got bored of it. Who knows?
What is Orange Theory?
So it's called Orange Theory Fitness. And what it is like a HIIT workout that only involves, from what I can deduce from my learning, only involves treadmill, rower machine, and strength training. And so I don't know what the strength training is. And then you have to wear a heart rate monitor so that they can see your heart rate is up high, so it's in the orange zone. That's why it's called Orange Theory. So it's up. You've got to have it up high. Because, of course, you could do this HIIT workout and just
bludge.
Do it, yeah.
And then if you're not in
do a real cardio workout, just like faff around and like, yeah, I did it, bye, and not lose any weight because your heart rate was not that high.
Not in the orange zone, which is where you produce vitamin C.
No. It's where you're burning fat.
Oh.
So I'm guessing is it green, yellow, orange?
I don't know.
I'm guessing that's what it is. And so you have to be in the orange zone.
Okay.
And so, yes, you could go do that and drop fat. You could go do that and drop fat, of course, because it's a cardio workout, 60 minutes, which is quite a long time to do just cardio. So you're going to do that for 60 minutes. So, yes, you're going to drop fat. But then you're not actually gaining any muscle. So, of course, if you stop doing that, you're going to gain the weight back. And you didn't actually change your body composition in that you didn't get stronger. So your basal metabolic rate is not going to change. You're still going to be you're still made up of the same stuff. It's just less fat on you.
So you could get exactly the same effect by going outside and running and keeping your heart rate at the same.
Yeah,
zone.
but also what the Orange Theory people emphasize is fitness, community, fun. It's all about community and friendship. So that's how they keep you going. Oh, my friend Judy's going. I got to go with her. Otherwise, I'll let Judy down. Or I love the community, whatever. I think that's how they keep people going. Does it still exist? Yes. Apparently, it still exists. In the same way...
I'm hearing about this. I was today years old when I learned about Orange Theory.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised it still exists.
I'm surprised none of your clients have told you. But in the same way that
My clients don't suck.
Okay. It's not very nice. So seeing as you have,
Hey, you started
you have
it with this high
quite a few of my
achiever
clients now this year that weren't my clients.
Hey?
Your clients this
Right.
year were my
I
clients.
stole your
last
clients?
year. Yeah. Anywho, and so it's similar to F45, I think, by the sounds of it, how it's emphasizing like community, fun, fitness. But F45 is meant to be functional fitness. And it's 45 mins.
Excuse my ignorance. Is that what the F stands for?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 45 minutes. Sorry, everyone. I can't speak English. 45 mins. And, but they say it's more functional fitness circuit. But I've done F45. It's a cardio workout. You're not lifting any heavy ass weights. You're not doing real fundamentals of strength training. You're not doing like proper deadlifts or squats, because if you only get a certain amount of time per station, like 1 minute or something. Like, no, you're not going to lift any heavy weight.
Right.
You're going to do like a warm-up set and be like, great, yay, moving on.
Well, F45 is circuit training.
Yeah.
That's
don't
what
you think
is.
it is also, it's a cardio workout?
Sure, but this is like F45, because I know a little bit more about that than I do about Orange Theory.
Yeah, because in Australia, yeah.
It's just a circuit. So circuit training was invented by the United States Navy in like the 1940s or 50s or something. And then it's an efficient way to provide, like a time efficient way to provide a variety of stimuli to the body, particularly with a group of people. So if you have like a military unit, you want to get a bunch of people trained, general fitness conditioning stuff in a period of time in a particular space, you run circuits. So I used to run circuit classes in my gym.
It's different to F45 what you would do, because you would make people lift really heavy weights and do exercises that I think are the fundamentals for building a better body.
Yeah.
Like you would make people do the shoulder press machine, trap bar deadlift, just like important movements, and you would load the bar already. So like they had to lift a certain amount of weight.
Well, if they didn't load it, I would load it for them.
Yeah. Whereas that's F45. It's like, try this tiny weight. Okay, great job.
Yeah.
So I think, it's just cardio. And then that's it. If you get bored of it, you're going to gain the weight back because you're doing something to put yourself in a calorie deficit, which is doing more movement, doing more exercise. It is exercise. And then you stop doing that, and then that's it. Of course, you're going to gain the weight back.
I think you're being too generous, because most of the time, doing cardio to lose weight doesn't work because your calorie deficit comes from your diet. Like that's the hugely powerful lever. And then cardio is kind of tweaking around the edges. So when someone does cardio, or what I call mindless calorie burning, because you're not actually training your heart, you are mindlessly burning calories. That's what you're really doing, MCB. So when you do MCB, you burn way less calories than you think. And then, because you haven't addressed your diet at all, your body will go, I burnt a few more calories. I'm a little bit more hungry. And then you eat a bit more food. And after your 45 minutes or an hour of MCB, you will replace those calories in about 30 seconds of extra eating, which you don't notice because you're not paying attention because you haven't approached it in a holistic fashion. That's what most people do. They go and try and it's what I call, they attempt to run away from the fat.
Yes.
And it doesn't work. But
What
you're saying is the minority of people who don't change their diet unconsciously, but do generate a small deficit from doing the MCB, they only get that benefit whilst they're doing the exercise, because once they stop, then the calorie deficit stops. But also, their calorie deficit is indiscriminate. They haven't done anything to protect their lean body mass, which means they've probably lost lean body mass and fat mass whilst they are losing weight. So they are genuinely doing weight loss, not fat loss. And they end up more skinny fat with a worse metabolism. It doesn't really help the body composition goals. But it sounds to me like Orange Theory, if the pass-fail mark is a heart rate thing, then it's not mindless calorie burning. It's genuine fitness training. Like we are trying to improve your cardiovascular performance.
Yes, it does say in the description about that it is to improve your cardiovascular health, which, yes, that is important for some people. But if that's what you're doing to look better, then I think that's the wrong approach.
Certainly. But, this sort of ties into what we were talking about earlier about if there's a thing that does a thing, just use it for that. Don't try and turn it into something else. So it sounds to me like Orange Theory is not so bad. It's that you could do exactly the same thing by going outside and running and putting your heart rate in a zone with your monitor and whatever and get the improved cardiovascular fitness from that, which is terribly boring and sucky. And as we've said, most people...
Boring and forever taking.
So boring and forever taking. But instead of that, you could do something that's more stimulating and you join the cult and you're in the group and all that sort of stuff and you're more likely to follow through.
Yes, you're right. But if you only have a certain amount of time in your day, you're not going to go to the gym and lift weights and go do Orange Theory, which is why we're saying don't bother. That's why I'm saying that. Or why I'm saying it's a fad. I do have other examples of fads.
Well, it's definitely it's definitely a fad because everyone's like anyone who wanted to get fit for the last million years could get fit without Orange Theory, and now they can get fit with Orange Theory. It's not adding any particular new value.
There were still amazing bodybuilders before.
Well, no, that's not building bodybuilders. It's building runners. It's building fit people. It's building people who don't get puffed and sweaty when they walk upstairs. Like that's it. That's what you're going to achieve. Right? So long as they're not promising, we're going to make you look good, we're going to make you strong, we're going to if they're not making any other bullshit promises, fine. It's just a way to spend money to do what you can do for free just by going for a run.
And on the treadmill. No thanks.
Yeah, so that's the benefit. But it's just reinventing the cardio wheel.
Yeah, and so my next fad...
Oh, you have another fad.
...that I wanted to talk about, which is not... I guess I don't know for sure if it's a fad, because it's happening right now.
Okay.
So it's not Pilates, because Pilates is meaningful and purposeful, and people keep doing that.
It's a thing that does a thing.
And Pilates was first started in the 1920s by that German-American guy, Joseph Pilates. That's when he founded it. That's when it started. And he only trained 2 people to be Pilates instructors like him.
Right. Was he as much of a pervert as that hot yoga guy?
God, I don't know. I think because he was German, he was pretty...
yeah.
What's it called? When you're just forceful, okay, stretch that way, just force people into positions. But I can't say for sure. I don't know enough. So I won't comment on him. So moving forward.
A lot of weird
yes,
Germans.
Reformer Pilates is great for mobility, flexibility, and improving core strength. I don't think for overall strength. It's mainly focusing on the core and your flexibility and mobility and spine health. That's why it's...
Posture?
Yes. Posture. Spine health.
Pelvic floor stuff?
Yes. Pelvic floor as well. So it's great for all those things. But right now I'm seeing there's like loads and loads of Reform Pilates, which is great if you have a good instructor. But then also now I'm seeing is these things called megaformers, which is
Part of the Transformers
more of
franchise.
an intense... Pardon?
Part of the Transformers franchise.
It looks like that, yeah.
Oh, cool. This is a fad we can get on board with.
It may be that. And so...
Is your instructor Megan Fox?
No.
I'm in.
Not in Indonesia.
Oh.
Maybe in America.
Maybe.
So it's these megaformers, which are like massive, just humongous. And so it's got like a massive carriage and then 2 huge platforms. And then it's got handlebars along the side, which are like you're on a treadmill. So like imagine handles on a treadmill. Imagine it's bigger than a treadmill. It's way longer than a treadmill. So it's massive. And then it has straps on all the different sides. It has like 6 different springs, but only 2 colors of springs. So like white and black. And then they have straps on the front, like resistance band type things. So it's just crazy.
And the color of the springs, that's not a racist thing. That's a how strong the spring is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good, but with normal Reformer Pilates, you have a variety of colors, and they're all like useful for different types of exercises.
more
And it makes
inclusive.
sense. Yeah, it's more inclusive of your needs. And then also you do different levels and it makes sense. But then with this giant mega thing, Megaformer, it's meant to be intense. It's meant to be a super intense workout. So like they like pump the music up so you're not like relaxing. You like pump the music up, do 1 billion reps of lunges. But these machines are like super uncomfortable to lie on because of all the extra aluminium that they have to put on for like... It's just weird. It's uncomfortable and massive, and I could have a much better workout just doing standard Reformer. So I think that would disappear.
Right.
That's what I believe will happen because people get excited and interested about new things all the time, and that's why they want to go try it because they're like, oh, cool, I haven't heard of that. Maybe that's something I should do. Or also if you're like, oh my God, I can't lose weight, but the solution is this new thing. You're like, oh, I'll go do that then. But then you realize that that's not the solution.
The secret's finally revealed.
So yes, it is good in that they have like pumping music and you're meant to like get your energy going and feel like positive and happy to do this workout. But I think they're like mixing too many things together.
Well,
So I don't understand the purpose in the end.
Yeah, I think
Because
that
doing lunges on this massive Reformer thing, I could just, no.
I think they're mixing nuts and gum here. So this is different. Like, so if Orange Theory is about like we're just going to take a heart rate and make that fun, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. But Pilates and then pumping it up with loud music and high energy, that's not Pilates. Like it's really you need to be
I don't
focused.
think it's called Pilates.
You need to be
It's Megaformer.
okay, right.
Like Legree. If anyone knows what Legree is, it's Legree.
Is that a French food that's supposed to be nice but it's actually disgusting?
It's Megaformer Legree, and then they have mini former Legrees, which are lower to the ground. But it's this weird form of Pilates which I don't understand. Like they'll say to you, this will be the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life, this workout. And then I'm looking over at my friend who's like birthed her baby like in her home. I'm like, don't think it's the hardest thing she'll ever do in her life somehow. But like...
Okay, you're the
I don't
Pilates
get it.
instructor, not me, but I've done a bunch of it in my time.
Yeah, you have.
And had Pilates in my gym
your studio,
back in the day. My concept of it is you need to be quite thoughtful about what you're doing, because what I found is that I would do it properly and try to do it properly and try to listen to the instructor, and then you would find like intense cramping, burning pains deep somewhere in some weird little muscle, like when you get it right.
Didn't know you had.
Yep. Otherwise, you're just smashing around like a dumb bodybuilder and training your rectus abdominis and your hip flexors.
And you're going to hurt yourself, yeah.
You're not going to hurt yourself, but you're going to miss the point. And you're not going to achieve anything. You're going to do these exercises that look really, really easy. Like not a lot is happening. It's not a rock and roll show CrossFit Games thing. It looks really boring and mostly slow and nothing's happening. But on the inside, if you are doing it properly and you are trying to isolate the muscles and whatnot, then it's quite intense and productive. So turning it into a rock show and high energy and all that stuff, that's just a complete diversion from the core value. So the core value, pardon the pun, is the core. Is like, so what I would see like in classes, well, I'd use...
so did you have reformers?
No. We did mat Pilates. But like years before that, I would do a mat Pilates class as a warm-up for my leg day. Yeah. So it was on the way to the gym. And it was, because I was a personal trainer, I did my morning training, then go and do that. So it was at like grandma o'clock. It was just all these sort of middle-aged housewives and whatnot. They've done their school run and whatever. And it's 10, 11 in the morning. And so it's just all these old ladies and me doing like a bodybuilding comp prep. And they would be of the delusion that they were doing it easier than me because they're doing every exercise wrong. Because that's the thing with group fitness, is that it's a place where you can go and hide. You can turn up and then do everything wrong, cheat at everything, do half reps of everything, and go, look at me, I'm so good, I did it easy. It's like, if it's easy, it wasn't training, you missed the entire point. And so, yeah, that's like, to me, that's a sort of a central part of the Pilates thing, is the mind-muscle connection and isolating things. And if you're doing high-energy, fun rock show shit, like,
yeah, it's not really the same.
It's not the same thing. And you're saying it's not the same thing, and they're not claiming to be the same thing, but they have a contraption which is basically a Pilates reformer, but on steroids.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That had sex with a Meccano set.
Yeah.
This is what I've got in my mind. So, yeah, what the fuck is it for?
I don't really know, but you...
And you said you went to one and it wasn't popular. And someone left halfway through.
It's not as popular as Reformer. And I saw this girl walk out like halfway through.
Yikes.
But I think that's because it was too hard for her.
Oh, okay.
I think she was really struggling with all the movements.
So she might be the person who goes to Pilates, bludgers, does nothing right, and then feels good about herself because I did it and I did it easy. Because she actually did nothing.
No, it was hard, but I think lifting weights would just be better for the same end game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right in saying that Pilates is that whole mind-muscle connection thing, which is very much the same. Like if you're doing mind-muscle connection, you're doing it correctly. It's the same as bodybuilding when you're thinking about the exercise and the muscles you're using to do that exercise. If you're doing flop around fitness when you're doing a lat pull down and you're just like, whoa, it's like you're not doing it properly.
Well, according to the encyclopedia definition of flop around fitness, there are no lat pull downs. Flop around fitness is done in one's lounge room.
But what if you think
with professional lighting and a G-string and baby oil to 1 million followers on Instagram?
I have no idea what we're talking about now. But yes, I like reformer Pilates studios that only have 5 beds because there's nowhere to hide. And having done several classes in a studio where it's just 5 beds, you see it all the time where some chick comes in to record and she's like, yeah, I'm ready, like in her matching outfit, and she's good to go. And then old mate starts the class and she, like, you can't escape her, and she is there to teach you the proper technique of every single movement. That's her job. And she wants people to do it right. And then it just all unravels, and she, like every single movement, she's like, okay, so the carriage doesn't move. Okay, this movement, nope, we're not slamming the carriage. Like, so you can just tell, okay, you do Pilates for aesthetic purposes, for fun. You get to go dress up and film it, but you go to a studio where there's 20 beds. So the instructor doesn't have time to double check exactly what you're doing, or even... like, they're just glancing that you haven't fallen off most of the time. Okay, next movement.
Glancing that you haven't fallen off.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, so that's another. You're calling it as a fad. It's arrived, and you reckon it's going to disappear.
Megaformer a fad.
Okay. All right. Calling it here. Heard it here first.
And I'm calling Orange Theory a fad based on everything I've heard.
Yeah, I called F45 a fad
It is.
1,000 years ago, and they're still making millions of dollars.
Are they?
Yep. I don't know. I think so. I'll give you one.
Yeah.
And this is one of the... All you have to do is sort of sit still and ignore things, and then you look like a genius type moment. So me being a Luddite and a cynic and having been exposed to the fitness industry for like over 30 years now, I just see whatever everyone gets excited about and everybody knows is the cool thing is going to disappear. And maybe it'll come back in 10 years. It's around a 10 or 11 year cycle. You have to be in it for like over 20 years before you notice. And it's just, frankly, fucking hilarious. When something that, oh, wow, I was excited about that when I was 17. And then it faded away because obviously it doesn't work and it's nonsense. And then it comes back again. And it goes away. And it comes back again.
Okay, yep.
So funny. But, so that's sort of the general way that I've noticed that fads work. And it could be like a supplement. They tried to bring back HMB last year or the year before.
I don't know what that is.
Beta hydroxymethylbutyrate. Now, when I were a lad, I would be spending shitloads of money that I did not have. I don't even, like, looking back, I had no work ethic. Did I have a job or was I just robbing grannies? I don't even know where I got the money to spend on these goddamn supplements because they were expensive. And it's just horseshit. It's complete nonsense. And so that was like the late 90s or early noughties. And they tried to bring it back like last year or the year before. It's thoroughly debunked. It's nonsense. But it's like whatever. A whole bunch of people have never heard of it before. So, and it's got a really sexy, sciencey sounding name. Just go and sell garbage to people that does nothing. Anyway, that's not actually the example I had in mind. What I was talking about, sort of being a Luddite, ignoring the trends, sitting in the same place, and then being proven right, cold plunge.
Oh, yeah.
So you were just, especially in Canggu, hey, you were an idiot if you weren't doing cold plunge.
Yeah.
Obviously, the world revolves around cold plunge. And now the latest research comes out and goes, well, you're stopping the inflammatory response from training if you do your training and jump in the cold plunge. That inflammatory response is actually required for the anabolism that you went to the gym in the first place for. So you're actually, and this is sort of one of the things that I guessed might be true, because we've heard all this before with anti-inflammatory drugs.
Yeah.
So
I heard Lane Norton talk about that once when we went to
2016 or something. Exactly.
And he said, don't take ibuprofen after a workout. If you're sore and you think that's a good idea, don't do it because the
inflammatory response is part of the muscle building process. So if you take NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, devices, then like ibuprofen, then you are interrupting the very process of muscle growth that you went to the gym in the first place for. And so the ice bath is doing the same thing. And so all of these bodybuilders were jumping in cold plunges after their training for Instagram content, let's be real. But you're just reducing the amount of muscle growth you can get from that workout. It's just dumb. And again, if you could just pedal backwards a little bit, then you have a look at, well, what was the evidence for it? And so, of course, I had to go and look that up.
What was the evidence?
Everything except muscle growth. Like all sorts of other things, like really short-term studies that showed that you reduced pain and discomfort so that an athlete could then perform again quickly, but not better, right? So it does a bunch of sort of these vague health and performance things, but nobody measured, does it stop your muscle growth? Does it enhance your muscle growth? So if you are doing strength training to get stronger, which is the same thing as getting bigger, or if you're training to get bigger, which is getting stronger, then jumping in the cold plunge immediately afterwards is not a good idea. So yeah, that whole trend that just washed over the universe and everyone's doing, dumb.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would say
2020, it was a big deal here.
Oh, it's for years.
There's a lot of like seminars about it as well.
Oh, fucking seminars, yeah. In between the breathwork seminars.
Yeah, there was some guy, I don't really know, but he teaches people how to do their breathwork while they're in the ice plunge. And so you can just like breathe. But,
I love it.
But
Commercial
yeah, you're
intent.
right. I think it's that thing where you're like, I am hoping for this outcome, some sort of like better recovery or something.
Sure.
But it's actually not improving your ability to be anabolic,
Yeah.
which is what you really want because you want to look good.
Because that's why you went to the gym. You went to the gym to get, like, if you don't want to get stronger, don't go to the gym. Like, duh.
Yeah.
And it's just another one of
a
those
waste
things.
of
If you
time.
just sort of take a step back and go, look at Steve Reeves in 1947.
Yeah.
Sir, do you look like Steve Reeves in 1947? Not yet. Okay. Well, then maybe have a look at what he did. Have a look at what he didn't do. Have a look at what he didn't have access to. Have a look at all the technology that didn't even exist, and he looked like that. So what's important is probably the stuff that he did, and what is either thorough and what he had access to, and what is thoroughly unimportant is everything that's happened since. Either unimportant,
Oh, yeah.
and by that I mean marginal value, or useless, or outright counterproductive. Everything that's been invented in the last 80 years is marginally effective, useless, or counterproductive. There's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. So now I'm the cantankerous old man who's just been around long enough to just go, I'm just not impressed by any shit anymore. Like I fell for all the fads. I was a kid. I did that. I bought the supplements. I did the sets of 21 bicep curls, all the shit. That was a trend that came back 10 years ago as well. So it must be due. Someone's going to invent that. Prediction on Instagram next week. Someone's going to invent 21s for biceps. And it'll be the 5th time it's come around. Yeah, really, it's about the basics. It's just repackaging stuff. You have to repackage things to make it interesting and make it appealing and get people excited.
Yeah, you're right.
And getting back to where we started, the people who really, really, really want results, the obsessed, the people who want to be elite, they don't care. They don't. I just want the results. And so I'll have clients, I'm sure you're the same, that say they are that person. They're like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what I have to do. I just want this outcome. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So, yes, sir. Most of those people are full of shit. They think they're that person. They're not really that person. They're actually normal people. And they get distracted and they get bored and they get sick of it and stuff. But some people are. So we're talking about a minority of people, really autistic, boring people. Like, I love doing exactly the same thing over and over and over again. And other people are, I don't love it, but I demand the outcome. I want the outcome. I don't care that I'm not enjoying doing the same shit over and over again. I want the outcome more than I hate the boredom and repetition of doing basic stuff. And those are the people who make it as far as they want to. The rest of us, we need marketing. We need sparkles. We need to have sprinkles put on our fitness routines of some kind to make them interesting and change it up.
Yeah, to be excited about fitness.
And that's like one of the main reasons I change my clients' training programs is just when they're bored. There's no physical reason to change it. It's like, oh, this worked the last 6 months. It'll work for another 6 months. But not if you're bored and just totally, lost the passion for it and you don't show up to the gym because you're like, sick of that shit. Well, now it's counterproductive. So you need to do something different for a psychological reason, not for a physiological reason.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I remember that feeling after a season of competing. And so if you're on that program that whole season, it's you do get a bit sick of it. But if you then say you have an off season, you can do almost whatever you want in the gym, or there's more leniency. It's wow, the gym is fun again.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a nice positive thing. If you've been super strict with the program and then you're not as limited as when you're training for a show. Yeah,
I mean, I think you're less autismo than me.
Oh, definitely.
In that you could take a moment to agree. Where, you do like to have a variety of training stimuli and environments and whatnot, whereas I'll just go to one gym and
you're
one
happy
bench
with that.
and do my 3 sets. And but yeah, I mean, look at the results. I'm awesome. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying the people in my gym aren't, because I'm not in the amazing gym anymore with all the amazing people.
You're in like the most boring gym in Canggu.
The most boring gym in Canggu.
But it still works because it
works
still
extremely
has
well.
weights.
They have very good equipment, and
yeah, they do have heavier weights there too. Which
they've got huge weight stacks, which is cool. So it's
that's
interesting.
what you need.
There's this basic little, average Joe gym with 140 kilo weight stacks on everything, which is great. But yeah, guys will go, well, how do I get where you are? It's like, we'll just do the same shit for 30 years. Sorry. I don't have any exciting one weird trick or special innovative technique. Yeah. And so doing the booty building guide, I felt the pressure. Like, I know what the resistance will be. It's like people will look at it and go, is that it? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you're right.
That's actually it. And we've heard that reaction so many times from people doing the blitz. It just gets absolutely life-changing results. They look at the training programs and go, well, I'm going to go to the gym and just do 6 exercises. What's that?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm obviously doing 2 per day of these workouts.
Yeah, I have to do every exercise on this list every day, right? Like, no.
Yeah, did someone do that once?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the world champion of crazy.
I did everything on this document.
But it's not crazy. It's just ignorant. Like, if you start with Frantic Fitness, let's call it that rather than Flop Around Fitness. Flop Around Fitness is its own thing.
Oh,
let's coin a new term. Yeah, there we go. Frantic Fitness is where you've got to do everything all at once in a workout and thrash around. And you see those people in the gym where they've done like 12 exercises whilst I've done 3 sets of chest press. They think that's normal. They think they're doing it right. Obviously, if they thought it was wrong, they wouldn't be doing it. Mm-hmm. And then they go and see the real thing. And they're like, is that it? That is so beneath me. And I must be such a super champion because I could do 12 times that amount of work. It's like, it's because you've actually done no work at all. And yeah.
There's a little bit of calorie burning.
There's a little bit of mindless calorie burning. And your F45s and your orange theories and whatnot will cash in on that kind of mentality.
Frantic Fitness.
Frantic Fitness. Heard it here first, folks. Coined a brand new Deasyism.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. So fads, they come and go, and I swear to God, it's like a 10 or 11 year cycle.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And it'll go away again. Because so many people will enter.
New kids that
new
are growing
kids.
up and they don't know.
New kids who are growing up. And when we say new kids who are growing up, it's new people who are turning 39 and going, holy shit, is that what I really look like? Because last I looked, I was 25 and hot. And so now they are a neophyte. They are a baby in terms of fitness and in terms of getting in shape and stuff. They don't know anything because they've never thought about it before. So it's either literal teenagers who are going to the gym, or 39-year-olds who are like, wow, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I need to get started. And then anyone who just gets started is then vulnerable to whatever the fad is. And the fad will always be the noisiest thing in the room. Oh, that's another thing I was going to say about.
It's confusing. Yeah.
That's another thing I was going to say about the booty building guide. For shits and giggles, I asked AI.
Oh, yeah.
I said, so what would you write as a booty building program? And it was just shit.
Yeah. What did it say?
Oh, I can't remember now. But my response to AI was, "Don't quit your day job, AI. Leave the programming to me." And it went, ha ha ha. Fair enough. But the thing is, what is it? That's an amalgamation of the information on the internet. So when it goes out to the internet to go, what's the average of what people think it is to get results? It collated that into garbage. So all the correct answers are on the internet, but it's flooded with garbage to the extent that it's 80, 90% garbage. So that AI goes, all right, well then 80 or 90% of my advice has to be garbage. So that's where people are. So, I'll be, on the one hand, amazed that people don't know some basic stuff. I'm like, you could just Google it. Why are you paying me for this information? It's all on the internet for free. Yeah, but it's hidden in just, it's needles in a haystack, There's just so much nonsense out there, and the noisiest nonsense will be whatever the latest thing is.
Yeah.
Because once it becomes a bit of a fad, then every influencer, it's not a conspiracy theory. Every individual person who's obsessed with getting attention, all the influencers go, well, What's triggering the algorithm? I'll do that too. And so, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that you have to do cold plunge, or you have to do Orange Theory, or the Meccano Megaformer Pilates, or whatever you said, and take your HMB.
Yeah, which I don't really know what that is still, but that's okay.
That's okay, because it's worthless. Don't worry about it. What's not worthless, though, is the Accidentally Hot program, which, if you're watching this episode, it means that the cart has already gone live.
Yep.
And it is, so a bunch of times this episode, you've been disparaging basically everything because it's not lifting weights and getting the aesthetic results you want, which is a little bit unfair because other things are for other purposes, but getting Accidentally Hot is for exactly that purpose. So it is the aesthetic results you want with the plausible deniability that you need. So it's a bit of a piss take, like I said last week. But the thing is, we will actually be focusing on health. Like, we do actually want to be healthier
Feeling
and
good.
fitter. And what I'd like to do is have
Feeling good and looking good.
feeling good,
is a
looking
nice
for
thing.
good, but also measuring good. Like, let's take your resting heart rate at the start. Let's get a blood pressure monitor, maybe your fasted blood sugar. If you want to go all out, get a blood test.
Yeah.
Take this data and just see what you can do in 8 weeks, because we're going to be tailoring the diet advice, some tips here and there, based upon research of how you can actually improve these sorts of things. Like, your gut health, or your bloating, and your maybe even, can we affect the rate of visceral body fat loss versus subcutaneous body fat loss? And if so, does that increased visceral fat loss improve organ health? Probably not going to be able to notice too much over 8 weeks, but if we can learn these things, maybe measure a tiny result because we're paying attention, then that's a really good lesson for people to go forward. So it is genuinely going to be a sort of a holistic health thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not going to be like the Blitz, which is really heavy on the psychology and the habit forming and the being introspective and all that stuff. Which is
Admitting that what you're doing is wrong.
all that stuff. It's going to be a hit the ground running. Do this because you'll be healthier. Do this because you'll be leaner. Do this because it'll make your booty further away from the ground. That sort of stuff. And blend that in with aesthetics stuff. But then you can go to your workmates and your family and anybody else and say, I'm doing this health kick. So when they insist that you eat the M&Ms, when they insist that you drink alcohol, you go, oh no, I'm on a special diet for my health. Then as soon as you mention health, as soon as you say, I've got to care about my health, people stop harassing you. If you say, I can't fit into my jeans, I wish my waist was skinnier, then they go, one slice of cake won't hurt. But if you say, one slice of cake might give me instant diabetes and kill me, then they'll go, whoa. So that's kind of the joke, social experiment. But yeah, it's going to be a genuine health kick. But really, we know what it's really about. It's really about getting proper aesthetic results, the results that you really want, the results that actually motivate you to get shit done.
Yep.
The results that you can see and other people can see and other people are going to tell you about. You're going to go, wow, you did that health kick, but geez, you're looking way better. Oh, how about that? And to make it interesting, because it's a launch, it's going to be on sale, 25% off,
everyone.
Which means at the sale price, it's going to be a half to a third of the cost of the Blitz.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And the people have spoken. I have listened to you. You want a competition. So let's make it a competition. So what we're going to do.
Competition again.
So that, as I said, the cart's already been open.
Yep.
It's on a special sale price for a period of time, maybe till like early July. We'll center everything around the Americans because it's all about America, isn't it?
Yeah.
After the 4th of July weekend. So I'll give you until after the 4th of July weekend. So if you want to be an irresponsible, then you can have your beers and your hot dogs and whatever, and then get started on the Accidentally Hot program, which means by the end of summer, you're going to be in killer shape. But the special sales deal will end around then somewhere. So July, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, something. And there'll be a cutoff, right? So if you jump on board, you're one of the first people to do the Accidentally Hot program, you get that special price.
Yep.
And at a later date, it's going to be, I don't know, late August, September, something. we'll have a deadline where you can submit
enter the
your before and after photos, and we'll have a little competition to see who does best. Prize money in US dollars, free coaching.
Yeah, so it's really worth it
Yeah, so we're going to make it.
because lots of people like money nowadays.
Lots of people like money nowadays. This is a
Especially
new
if you
thing.
live in America where, things are expensive now.
Things are more expensive. Yeah, so we're going to make it a competition. We're going to make it fun. So all of those things we're talking about, the cult of Orange Theory and stuff, sure, rather than hating on it, let's do it. So I used to have a competitive element to the Blitz.
Yes.
Then I got all pious and holier than thou, and it's not really in line with the Blitz because the Blitz is meant to be the first 8 weeks of the rest of your life. It's not meant to be a little circus show where you start and finish.
Okay.
It's serious. It's for serious people who seriously want to get results, change their life, change their mindset. This is obviously a bit of fun. So let's make it a lot of fun. We'll have your start and finish of 8 weeks. So everyone who signs up during that, say, month of launch sale, they will have time to start their 8 weeks and finish their 8 weeks before the cutoff for the competition. So you can post your photos in the Team Granite Facebook group, post your photos in the Fit Girl Club group, whatever.
Yeah.
Let us know that you want to be included in that competition, and then we'll hand out cash prizes to first, second, and third, free coaching with me.
Yay. That's pretty awesome.
To keep the results train rolling. So I think that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So
I think also people who have all done the Blitz several times, this is going to be exciting.
well, this is exactly what we've been talking about. It's the same thing dressed up. Not quite. It's a different focus, but because it's built on the same foundations of this is rational strength training, this is rational approach to eating so you actually get results. Let's not mess with that formula, but we're going to do other things differently. It's going to be more lighthearted, more action-packed, straight into it. None of this week of mindset stuff.
Right, okay.
And yeah, we're focusing on aesthetics and health at the same time. And if we can, get a bunch of people in during that sales month, boom, you got yourself a community of people who are all doing the same thing at the same time, more or less, and the fun and hijinks of a competitive element.
Competition at the end, so nice reward if you did outstanding.
Yeah, a few people have complained, I used to like it when you would post the photos of people who have done really well and win the Blitz and stuff back when the Blitz was a competition. So let's do it again as a launch special for Accidentally Hot, and then maybe if it's popular, if it goes well, we could make the Blitz a competition every now and then as well. But that's down the track. So yeah, cart's open, sale of the century, big opportunity for big prizes. It's a good time of year for anyone. As I said, if you jump in early, it's the start of American summer.
Yes.
So you're gonna be in killer shape for the entire month of August if you jump in right at the start. If you wait until after the 4th of July, you're going to be in shape at the end of summer. If you're in the southern hemisphere, then you're smarter than the average bear because you're getting in killer shape during winter. So you don't have to cram for the exam before it actually heats up. So you have a huge head start.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is why, we say the best time to start is always right now. But an even better time to start is when a brand new program, which is tailored to exactly what you want, is on special. That's probably the best time to start.
Yeah, it's new and exciting, so that's awesome.
Cool. All right, and I think we've flogged the fads to death.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to add on that front?
That was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it was mostly catharsis, just us complaining about stuff.
Yeah, I like to complain about things that are dumb.
Well, I feel better, so that'll
too.
do. If you are looking for programs, the links to the Accidentally Hot, for example, down below. Contact us for coaching, programs, no bullshit advice. See you next time.
Bye.